Hi, it's Grandmama Doris. We're up to Chapter 8 in the Lemonade War. Chapter 8, Going Global. On Saturday morning, Jessie slept in, and even when she opened her eyes, it was 9:05. She still felt tired. How can I wake up tired? She wondered as though she buried her face in the pillow, and she dozed back off. 5 minutes later, she was awake for real, remembering why she was tired. Yesterday's lemonade stand had been the hardest work of her life. Face paintings, hair braiding, nail polishing. It had sounded like such a good idea. Jessie had been sure that this kind of neighborhood that they would line up to buy a cup of lemonade. But that was the problem. Every kid had lined up for lemonade, and then they wanted their face painted, and their hair braided, and their fingernails polished, and their toenails polished. One boy asked for face paintings on both cheeks, both arms, and his stomach. One girl begged for lots of little braids with ribbons woven in, and nail polishing. They all wanted different colors. They all wanted different decals, and it was impossible to get them to stand still long enough to let the paint dry. "We're going to run out of lemonade," Megan had said to Jessie at noon as they stood in line and stretched all the way to the street. "Pour half cups instead of full ones," whispered Jessie. "It has to last." Jessie and Megan had each made $24 on lemonade, but they had worked 8 hours to do it. And at the end of the day, they had agreed. It was a good idea, but it was just not worth it. After breakfast, Jessie pulled out her lockbox and she sat it on her bed. She kept the box hidden from her closet on the shelf under some sweaters. She kept the key in a plastic box in her desk drawer. The plastic box was designed to look just like a pack of gum. You would never even know that it was hollowed out and had a secret panel inside. Jessie unlocked the box and she opened the lid. First, she took out 3 torn strips of paper. There were one that said "Value Added," one that said "Goodwill." There was also a new strip of paper that Jessie had added just last night. Jessie lined all 3 strips of paper on the bed right beside her. She wasn't sure why she was saving these words, but she felt like they belonged in her lockbox. Next, she took out her lemonade earnings. Every day, Megan had squealed over how much money that they had made. But every day, Jessie had known that it was not enough. It was not going to be enough to win. Jessie counted the money. So far, she had earned $40. It was a lot of money, but it wasn't nearly enough. She still needed $60 more. And today was Saturday. Only 2 more days left of selling before she and Evan had to count their earnings on Sunday night. How was she going to sell enough lemonade to earn $60 in 2 days? She couldn't, and that was the problem. No kid could earn $100 in 5 days by selling lemonade. The profit margin was too small. She knew because she had used her calculation figures from the night before. The numbers had said it all. There was no way the girls in the neighborhood could sell 375 cups of lemonade. Nobody wanted that much lemonade, no matter how hot the day was. Jessie looked at the money in her lockbox and the page of calculations on her desk. Another kid would have just quit. But Jessie, she was no quitter. Good days, Jessie's mom called her persistent. On bad days, she told her she just didn't know when enough was enough. Jessie reached for the 10 Bright Ideas to Light Up Your Sales booklet. It was beside her table, right next to Charlotte's Web. Jessie's hand hovered. She looked lovingly at Wilbur and Fern, watching Charlotte hanging by a thread. But this was war, and she couldn't stop and read just for fun. She grabbed the booklet and opened it to Bright Idea number 6. An hour later, she had a new scrap of paper stashed in her lockbox and a whole new page of calculations on her desk. It might work. It could work. But she and Megan would have to risk everything. everything they had earned over the past 3 days, and Jessie would have to be braver than she had ever been in her life. Jessie carried her lockbox and calculations downstairs. She went into the kitchen and pulled down a school dictionary, scanning the names of all the 3rd grade girls from last year. She knew them all, from Evan, from recess, and from the lunchroom. She knew who they were. She knew their faces. And she knew which ones were nice and which ones were not so nice. But she didn't really know any of them. Not enough to call them up. Not enough to say, would you like to do something today? Not enough to ask, would you like to have a lemonade stand with me? The girls were going to be her classmates. Jessie felt her face grow hot and her upper lip start to sweat. What was it going to feel like to walk into that classroom on the first day of school with all those eyes looking at her? Would they stare? Would they tease her? Would they ignore her? Or even say hi? Jessie looked at the names, and then she slammed the dictionary shut. She couldn't do it. She wasn't brave enough. Evan walked in the kitchen, and he grabbed an apple from the fruit bowl. A cloud of fruit flies rose up in the air and settled again. Evan inspected the apple, and then he bit into it, without washing it first. Oh, more lemonade. Jessie wanted to say something, but she held her tongue. She looked at him as though it is never going to be normal, not talking to Evan. Hey, she said. Evan raised his apple to his mouth. His mouth was too stuffed to talk. So, is Paul coming over today? She asked. Evan shook his head, munching noisily. Well, is anyone coming over? Jessie was curious to see what his enemy was up to today. Yesterday, Evan's smile had told her plenty. He had sold a lot of lemonade, a lot. But what was he going to do today? Evan shrugged his shoulders. He swallowed hard, and he looked like he was choking down an ocean liner. You are setting up a stand, right? Asked Jessie. No, I'm good, said Evan, looking closely at his apple. I'm just going to take it easy today. He took another enormous bite and walked out of the kitchen and downstairs to the basement. Take it easy? How could he take it easy? You don't take it easy when you're in the middle of a war. Unless you had already won the war. Could that be possible? Was it possible? There was no way Evan had earned $100 in 3 days selling lemonade. No way. Jessie's mind scattered like it does in one of those long-legged birds on the beach. Had he? Could he? Were her calculations wrong? Was there some other way? Had she overlooked some detail? Some trick? Was he missing something? She flipped open the school dictionary. Maybe he had $100. Maybe he didn't. She couldn't take that chance. She started putting pencil check marks next to the names of the girls that she thought might work out. She had gone over the list twice, and when the doorbell rang, it was Megan. I've got an idea, said Jessie. Oh, not more lemonade, said Megan, sinking into the couch in the family room. I'm tired of selling lemonade, and it's too hot. I practically had a sunstroke yesterday painting all those faces. Oh, we're done with that, said Jessie. No more extra services. It doesn't pay off. But here's an idea. Forget lemonade. Let's go to the 7-Eleven, said Megan. Is Evan home? We could all go. No, he's not home, said Jessie, eyeing the door to the basement. She needed Megan to be on board with her plan. She needed Megan to make most of the phone calls. Look, this is just great. We don't need to sell lemonade. Jessie laid out all the details. She showed Megan the new scrap piece of paper and then showed her the page of calculations. At first, Megan buried her head in her pillow. Then she poked her head out like a turtle and started to listen for real. That sounds like a pretty good plan, she said. But is it really going to work? Jessie looked at her calculations that she'd done, and she'd done them twice. It should, she said. I really think it should. She frowned suddenly, not so sure of herself. It's a big upfront investment and a lot of work organizing everybody. But once they're set up, we should be able to just sit back and roll the money in. The key is spreading everybody out so that there's plenty of customers. We'll need at least 10 girls. 15 would be better. That's a whole 4th grade class, said Megan, looking very doubtful. How are we going to get all them to do this? Well, you could phone them all up, said Jessie. She handed Megan the school dictionary, open to the 3rd grade. Me? Said Megan. Why me? Because they know you, said Jessie. They know you too. Yeah, but they like you. Megan shook her head. Not all these girls are my friends. Even the ones that aren't your friends, they still like you. Everybody likes you, Megan. Megan looked embarrassed. Oh, everybody likes you too, she said. No, they don't, said Jessie. They really don't. There's an uncomfortable silence between the 2 girls. Then Jessie shrugged her shoulders and said, I don't know why all those girls in my class last year didn't like me. I'm hoping this year will be better. Megan tapped her fingers on her knees. You're nervous, huh, about the 4th grade? She asked. Jessie thought hard. I'm worried I won't make any friends, she said. You know, with all the other kids, what will they think? Will they think I'm some puny little 2nd grader and that, Jessie took a deep breath, that I don't belong? Megan looked at the ceiling for a minute. Do you have an index card? She asked. Huh? I need an index card, said Megan. Do you have one? Jessie went to the kitchen desk and she got out an index card and she handed it to Megan. Megan started to write something on the card. What are you doing? Asked Jessie. I'm writing a comment card, said Megan. That's something that you're going to miss from the 3rd grade. We did it every Friday. We each got assigned a person, and you had to write positive things about that person on an index card. Then it got read out loud. She folded up the card and she handed it to Jessie. Jessie unfolded the card, and it read what Megan had wrote. You are a nice person, and you have good ideas all the time. You're fun to be with, and I'm glad to be your friend. Megan stared at the index card. She kept reading the words over and over. Thanks, she whispered. You keep it, said Megan. That's what I did. I've still got all my comic cards in a basket on my desk, and whenever I'm feeling sad or kind of down on myself, I read through them. They really make me feel better. Jessie folded the index card and she put it in her lockbox. She was going to save it forever. It was like a magic charm. So how about I make half of those phone calls and you make the other half, said Jessie. Okay, said Megan, jumping up from the couch. It was surprising how many almost 4th grade girls had absolutely nothing to do just 3 days before school started. In less than an hour, Jessie and Megan had 13 lemonade franchises signed up for the day. The rest of the day was work, but it was fun. Jessie and Megan attached the old baby carrier to Megan's bike. They rode it to the grocery store and spent every penny of their earnings on lemonade. 52 cans. They actually bought out the store. The 4 bags of cans filled the carrier like a boxy baby. They also bought 5 packages of paper cups. And they got back to Megan's house. Jessie tucked the receipt into her lockbox, right next to her comment card. Jessie liked receipts. They were precise. They were complete. A receipt told a whole story, right down to every last penny. Then they tossed construction paper and art supplies into the carrier and started to make their rounds. First stop, Kelly Knight's house. She was already there for them, waiting at the table, a chair, empty pitcher, all set up. Jessie mixed the lemonade. Megan quickly made a lemonade for sale sign, 75 cents a cup, and they left Sally to her business. The deal was that Sally got to keep 1/3 of the profits, and Jessie and Megan kept the rest. After they'd set up all 13 lemonade stands, each with enough mix to make 4 pitchers of lemonade, Jessie and Megan hung out at Megan's house, baking brownies and watching TV. Then they hopped on their bikes and again made their rounds. Jessie and Megan stopped at Sally's house first. The lemonade stand was nowhere to be seen. What do you think is going on? Asked Megan. Jessie had a bad feeling in her stomach. Something must have gone wrong. They rang the doorbell. Sally came to the door. Hurry, she said, grabbing her arms and pulling him aside. My mom gets totally mental when the AC's on and the door's open. Where's your stand? Asked Jessie nervously, feeling the bumps ripple up on her arms from the cool air. Sally waved her hand. Done, she said. I sold out in like a half an hour. It's so hot. We made $24 besides tips. I get to keep the tips, right? Sure, said Jessie. Tips. She had forgotten those in her calculations page. Sally handed Jessie some crumpled bills and an avalanche of coins, $8 for Jessie and Megan each. You wanna stay and have some ice cream, Sally said. Okay, said Megan. And we brought you a thank you brownie, for part of being the team. That had been bright idea number 9. After the bowl of the Moose's Loose ice cream, Jessie and Megan headed out. The story was the same at every girl's house. The lemonade had sold out very quickly, and the money just kept rolling in. I can't believe we made. How much did we make? Squealed Megan once they got back to the house. $104 each, shouted Jessie. She couldn't stop hopping from one foot to the other. I've never seen so much money in my life. Jessie was already running numbers in her head, subtracting the $80 that she and Megan had spent on lemonade and cups. Each girl had made a profit of $64. If they increased the numbers of the franchise from 13 to 26, they could make $128 a day. If they ran the 26 franchises every day for a week, they could each make $896. Jessie pulled out a piece of paper and she scribbled a graph. The sky's the limit. Megan pretended to faint when Jessie showed her the graph. What are you going to do with the money? She asked from the floor. Win the war, Jessie thought. Oops, she couldn't say that to Megan. Megan didn't know anything about the Lemonade War. After all, Megan liked Evan. Jessie suddenly wondered if Megan knew about the war, whose side would she be on? All at once, Jessie felt as if Evan were a hawk, circling above, waiting to swoop down and snatch Megan away. Oh, she was so mad at him. He deserved to lose everything. Is $104 enough to win, wondered Jessie. Surely Evan couldn't have earned more than that. Still, better safe than sorry. She would work out all day tomorrow and Sunday, selling lemonade. So, said Megan, what are you going to do with your money? She was kicking off her sneakers and fanning herself with a magazine. Jessie said, I'm going to donate my money to the Animal Rescue League. Megan stopped waving her magazine. Oh, that is so nice of you. I want to donate my money too. She dropped her magazine and she started shoving money towards Jessie. Here, give mine to the Animal Rescue League too. On the card, just put both our names. The money came at her so fast, Jessie didn't know what to say. There it was, $208. $208, all in her hands. She had won. She had really and truly won the Lemonade War. Just promise me one thing, said Megan. No lemonade stand tomorrow, okay? Okay, said Jessie. She didn't need a lemonade stand on Sunday if she had $208 today. My dad said tomorrow is the last day before the heat breaks, said Megan. We are going to the beach for the whole day. You want to come? Sure, said Jessie. Maybe Evan wants to come too, said Megan. Jessie shook her head. No, Evan's busy all day tomorrow. He told me that he has plans. Megan shrugged her shoulders. Well, too bad for him. Yep, Jessie said, thinking of all that money. Too bad for him.